Okay, we're getting into it in the sense that I think Hawks' days are numbered, to be honest. My Hero Academia 244, let's talk about it. So, Hawks kind of gives like info to Endeavour. He's like, here's that book, bro. And I know a lot of people are thinking about this chapter like, yeah, Endeavour's not gonna catch it. Endeavor's probably like the best hero detective. I think it was even stated that like he's solved the most cases in like hero history or whatever or something like that, or he's the fastest climbing to get to number 2. I can't remember, something along the lines. Either way, Endeavor's reputation is pretty impressive. Obviously it's not as like, he's not as strong as All Might in that regard, but Endeavour can hold his own. Don't get him at that, not just in power, but also in terms of intelligence as well. That's why even when Todoroki like basically hated him. And I feel like their relationship's a bit different now, like it's gotten better. But like at the start, Todoroki even realized like, I may hate my dad, he's a terrible person, but he's number 2 for a reason. So like, give credit where credit's due. So I think, okay, so this is what happened in this chapter. You know, we're getting into the internships. The future big 3 are interning at Endeavor's office, which is really cool. Even just seeing it in this chapter, just seeing Endeavor, like I literally cannot wait till this episode gets animated just to see Endeavor's feats and see how fast he was. He used one of his abilities, one of his moves called Flash Fire. So I don't really know what it is. It's like he kind of like what Bakugo does to propel himself. It seems like that's what Endeavor was doing with his fire. So like shooting out short bursts of flame to make him just propel himself so forward. And it just shows you, it literally shows you the potential that Todoroki and the person that Todoroki can become in terms of mastering his heat side. Because the way when you see Todoroki use his fire side, it's not as genius, not as innovative. All he does is just literally like that's all he does, like some Kamehameha kind of thing. Like all he does is shoots out fire at you. Actually, he does have a move where he combines the hot and cold side, which is pretty cool. But like in terms of Endeavor, the way that he uses fire side, there was even a scene in the anime when he's like running up the walls and he creates like a fire javelin, stuff like that. Like this is what Todoroki is supposed to be able to do in the future, so it's really cool to see Endeavor doing it. Because one, it just shows you how cool he is and how powerful he is. Like the guy's the guy's strong. But it was really weird for me personally reading this chapter, and I'm seeing Deku and Bakugo coming in to help Endeavor, and the thugs like try to, you know what I really would have wanted to see, because Endeavor was never gonna get taken out by those thugs. Endeavor had it covered. I wanted to see what he was gonna do. Like I thought that would have been cool, but you know, Horikoshi wants to show the students. That's fine by me. So it's weird that Todoroki wasn't there to help, and I'm not dialing it down to a factor of, oh, he just wasn't slow enough, he wasn't fast enough, because and Todoroki can catch up, like he's fast, and it's not as if he would be scared or something. So I have no clue. Maybe that's just a short oversight that Horikoshi did, or maybe it was like Todoroki would, but I don't know, because even seeing this chapter in his interactions with Hawks as well, Todoroki just seemed like he was not there, like he was on another planet, like he was just hazy. So maybe he was just so bewildered by the fact of Endeavor, like what he's able to do with his fireside, and he got insecure, or like he's just in awe. Maybe something like that. Either way, I thought was a bit odd. But yeah, aside from that chapter, the doomsday prophetic guy, he was just he was a schmuck. Like he wasn't going to be the next big villain or whatever. So he got taken out pretty easily. But his quirks seemed pretty cool. He can manipulate glass, from my understanding. So like there's a window here right in front of me. So what he could basically do is he can take the glass from here and like manipulate it and do whatever he wants with it. And it was so good that Endeavor even gave him props. He was just like, you've got some skill. But then his line was sick. He was just like, why would you do this knowing like I'm here or something like that? Just like, bruh, like, come on. This is why Endeavor's sick. This chapter, like, Horikoshi did some great artwork and just showing Endeavor, like when he was like flying and then he did his flash fire and then he was just like standing there with the fire coming. I was just like, bruh, this is gonna be awesome when it's animated. So yeah, basically this chapter was pretty cool, pretty simple. I'm really feeling for Hawks. I really, really am, as like a double agent kind of guy. And it's like, he says it in this chapter, he's trying to give signals. Bear in mind, I think it was a couple of chapters ago, I think Hawks has been bugged in the sense that he's got cameras on him and he had to place it all over the place. So he can't really speak, what's the word? He can't speak openly about who he is and what he's doing. And even if he could, he wouldn't. He was told to be, this is like confidential. No one can know. None of the heroes can know about this. So he's trying to give hints to Endeavour. And yeah, Endeavour's gonna clock it. Endeavour is the best detective in Hero Society out there. It was stated in one of these chapters. I can't remember. But he solved the most amount of cases. I think it was like in the 90s when Endeavour comes and sees All Might in his sullen form, and Endeavour was just like, I've done all of this to attain, like, to try and beat you, and like, this is you kind of thing. So like, yeah, I think that's when when it was spoken about Endeavour solving all those cases. So you can check it up if you want, or just check out the wiki, to be honest. But yeah, no, I really did like this chapter. I'm kind of excited for where this is going. And it's really cool seeing it in different kind of... You see in the panels, like, one guy was just like, we have to defend ourselves. Like, we can't wait for the heroes. And it's really reminding me of Stain. Like, when Stain came to the forefront and when he came out in his arc, he impacted society heavily, and Shigaraki was getting pissed. But like, you're seeing the same thing with the Paranormal Liberation Front, these books coming out, like it's a cult, like it's some doctrine, it's weird, but it's really, you're seeing the effects of society, how it's impacting the everyday normal people, and they're beginning to think otherwise, thinking like, why am I always waiting for the hero when in my waiting my life can be endangered? Why can't I do nothing, you know? And this speaks way back to the Stain arc, because after the Stain arc, the heroes got in trouble. And Todoroki, Bakugo, Ida, Deku, they got in trouble by the police because they were like, this is illegal for you to do. You can't use your quirk out like that. You don't have any licensing whatsoever. What would have happened if some civilians got damaged? What would happen if like a building got like... They had no regulations. They had no authority to do so. And this is what the Paranormal Liberation Front is going against. It's like, you shouldn't be able to restrict part of yourself or the basic right for you to defend, you know? So it's really, really cool to see this. And just to see how like the trust of heroes are slowly being removed. And it's being placed within like civilians in their own, like in their own strengths and efforts and merits other than Hero Society. So I thought that's really cool, and I'm really liking what Horikoshi is doing with this arc as well. And the Doomsday guy said something which was kind of interesting. He said to Endeavour that this guy will summon darkness or something like that. I took that as kind of All Might. So like, you know, if you're number one, like, okay, so All Might was seen as a deterrent, like, because he was number one, people didn't want to do anything, like, because they knew that they would just get defeated. And I see like that with Endeavour, and that's how Endeavour's trying to show himself as well. But I also feel like people, because he's number one, Endeavour is, people want to challenge him as well. And they've seen the way that he was fighting high end, and they're realizing like, wow, Endeavour could die. Like this guy, these villains are strong, and they can even take out the number one. So trust is becoming very fickle within the Hero Society, I believe. And I'm seeing in this chapter, and it's, yeah, so basically that's probably what's going to happen in the next couple of chapters. Either way, this arc's going to be amazing. Just to see all of that transgress and see Hawks probably going to die. Hawks is basically Icarus. He's going to fly too close to the sun. Yeah. But I feel like Endeavour, I don't know, because I feel like the way it's set up, Hawks is probably going to die, and it's going to be like a loss of, it's going to be a, what's it called? You're going to miss out on it if Hawks doesn't die, because like all of this build up. But then again, maybe like Endeavour comes and saves him, and that could be really cool and really good to the story as a whole. Because I feel like Endeavour's clocking on, or he probably doesn't know from the end of this chapter, but he's just like, he's starting to think now, because he's just like, why are you saying that again? And then probably when he reads the book again and then he thinks over, he's going to be like, okay. Because, you know, Endeavour's not Batman, but like, he's as close to Batman as you're going to get in this series. Not in the sense of the anti-hero, but in the sense of the detective and investigative kind of thing. So yeah, and besides, a small aside, but I really want to see more of that in My Hero Academia. You know, the whole investigation and the detective kind of thing. We got a lot of that within Night Eye, within that arc, and that was pretty cool. But I kind of want that to be focused a bit more as well. I kind of like that kind of thing. Let me know if you guys agree. Anyway, yeah, so guys, that's enough for me. What do you think? Do you think Endeavour's gonna clock on to what Hawks is saying? What do you think about this chapter? Why wasn't Todoroki doing anything? Let's continue discussion down below. That's my thoughts on My Hero Academia 244. Let's keep it coming. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell icon to be notified for new videos. Got some cool ideas coming up as well. Peace out, guys. Sam, goodbye.